What's going on, guys? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and I just woke up and these lights are blinding me. But let's get into this video. I wanted to talk about Cleanspark. We do have some presentations coming up, investor conferences, you could call them. And we're going to look at that. We're also going to look at price action for Bitcoin and Cleanspark. And we're also going to go into another article that goes into how this Bitcoin mining difficulty is actually beneficial right now for Cleanspark. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, put out daily videos, and I definitely appreciate you. And also don't forget about the links for some free stocks down below. Webull's running a promotion for something like 12 free stocks when you just deposit any amount. Go check out BlockFi's crypto card. It's honestly the only credit card I use, and I believe they're giving you $40 when you sign up for the card, among many other deals and discounts. So check it all out, and let's get into this video, starting off with some articles. And as always, you'll be able to find all the links down below to any article I go over. And we're gonna have some investor conferences here in September. September 13, we're gonna have the H.C. Wainwright Annual Global Investment Conference, and they do have a link here, so once it comes out, you can listen to the live audio. We've got the BTIG Future of Digital Assets Conference on September 19th, and this is only for BTIG clients, so we likely will not be able to watch this. We've also got the B. Riley Securities second annual crypto conference. This is going to be September 29, and if you want to see that, you would have to contact a B. Riley representative. So it looks like so far we'd at least be able to watch the H.C. Wainwright. That seems to be open to all, but these other ones you'd likely have to contact someone and pull some strings. And next up, this article about how this Bitcoin mining difficulty is actually beneficial for Cleanspark. And just brushing over it really quickly, it basically goes into how they've made all these recent acquisitions during these difficult times for Bitcoin, during all these huge steep discounts for the Bitcoin miners, for these ant miners that they have, that they've been consistently acquiring. I mean, look at this. Just recently, remember guys, the 10,000 miners for 28 million, giving them around 1 exahash. Also, of course, August 19, the Georgia facility they bought for 16 million, which adds about 2.6 exahash. Then also August 9, another facility in Georgia for 16 million. And during that deal, they also purchased 3,400 ant miners for that facility as well for another 9 million. And you know, due to the difficulty of current mining, these larger miners like Cleanspark have been able to acquire miners at a steep discount compared to where they would potentially acquire them a few months from now. You can definitely look at this two ways. You know, this will surely add to their debt. Keep in mind that Cleanspark of all miners is among the lowest in debt currently as of Yahoo Finance, but now with all these recent acquisitions, I can definitely see that debt rising quite a bit. Keep in mind, some of those acquisitions are through stock-based payment, which I'd say is mixed. You know, it has its good and its bad. Of course, they're not having to acquire more debt. They're just using their stock-based compensation, which they really haven't been diluting all that much. If you remember, what they like to do is they sell their Bitcoin to further expand their growth. Now, with Bitcoin's price steeply dropping, their revenues haven't been all that great lately, but I do expect our next quarter to impress by quite a bit. We are currently right around 15 Bitcoin per day. Their last mining update, they were somewhere around 12, 13. And as they continue to increase the exahash for the next couple of months, I do think in a very short amount of time, they will be around 18 to 20 Bitcoin per day. And looking back, remembering back in 2021, early 2022, when they said their projections for the year end, they were right around 3 to 4 exahash is what they were expecting. Now, I currently think that they will break that 4 exahash by the end of the year, and they will have exceeded their milestones. But what do you think about Cleanspark? Are you excited with all these recent acquisitions? Does it make you a bit nervous? Does it seem like they're biting a bit more than they can chew? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And next up, looking at the charts, don't forget we can't break that 380. That is a pretty strong support level that we've held since mid-June. Now remember, we are approaching our downtrend reversal, but that doesn't mean it's always going to play out. Even if this does break out, it could always fail and start riding that outside of the trend downwards before bouncing off of it at some point. So just because there is a potential reversal coming doesn't mean that once we break out of it, it's just going to cause a huge run and we're going to go 100% in no time. But I think looking back, this will be a somewhat pivotal moment for stocks like Cleanspark. And of course, for Bitcoin, it is approaching a reversal as well. It came very close to it, and we'll show you that in a second. But zooming a bit, you'll see that we did gap up, and it's very likely we can fill that gap, come back towards 450, and maybe bounce from there. And obviously, when Bitcoin turns around, this will turn around as well. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. And of course, with Bitcoin, we are approaching our halving. We're getting closer and closer. We are almost 1 year away. And looking at this pattern, we do have a little bit of a consolidation coming. We might break out either direction, so keep an eye on that as well. But I definitely see Cleanspark in the long term as easily a $20 stock, but it's going to be a waiting game. You know, it's not going to happen while Bitcoin is down. It's not going to happen while Bitcoin's under 30,000, under 40,000. We need Bitcoin to push towards its previous highs. And I do think with Bitcoin right around 50,000, Cleanspark I think deserves about $15 to $17 in price. And keep in mind also that once things start looking better, their revenue expectations are going to drastically improve. And looking year over year, you know, that revenue continues to increase. lately, because of Bitcoin's drop in price, the last few revenues have not been great at all, I admit. And you know, I have said this months ago that this is something to expect. While Bitcoin's falling in price, we're gonna have some bad quarters. And I think we're personally not out of the woods yet. You know, Bitcoin could fail this downtrend reversal that I'm about to show you, and we could fall further. We could even come towards our lows. What will I be doing then? I'll obviously be buying, but it doesn't change the fact that we could potentially come back to our lows for Bitcoin, potentially pushing Cleanspark down and also giving us some bad quarters because they're not able to sell their Bitcoin in the high 20s, in the mid 20s. So if Bitcoin does stay under 20, I mean, I know Bitcoin's over 20 right now, but if it starts breaking under 20, stays down, Cleanspark's quarters aren't going to be that amazing. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to be patient with Cleanspark. And in my opinion, this is going to give much more outsized returns compared to Bitcoin, because in a way it's kind of seen as a derivative. And when you're in a risk off market, that derivative is going to be beaten up. When you're in a risk on market, that derivative is going to go sky high. And next up, guys, let's look at Bitcoin's price on the chart. And I got something to show you here that we are approaching. Now, first off, looking at Bitcoin, we do have a pretty clear head and shoulders here. So be careful. It's very likely we start pushing back, testing some lower levels. And for us to break out and continue pushing higher, we have to break this 22,500. I'm personally impressed that we are where we're at right now. I mean, just look at how much we've ran recently. We were only a couple days ago sitting at 19,500. We're already almost towards 23,000. And, you know, it really hasn't ran like this in quite a while. Like, back here you see a very nice spike, kind of similar in some ways. What happened afterwards? Took it back, but it did recover, and then took it all back again. You know, are we going to have a similar thing? Are we going to have this push up kind of towards this downtrend reversal line, towards this, you know, descending resistance? Are we going to come towards it and start popping down, breaking these levels, and then finally breaking out of it towards October? It's very possible. You know, but one thing's for sure, you definitely want to keep an eye on this potential reversal throughout September. I could definitely see it testing it, failing, and coming back down, and finally breaking out of it on the next test. In my opinion, it's definitely been picking up a lot of steam, and I do think that profit takers will enter at some time. This is definitely not a risk on market. This is definitely not the time to be greedy. So just be careful with Bitcoin. I think we're personally going to break off of this and test some lower levels. We might break out of it and push higher, but let me know down below what you guys think. Are we going to just break out of this downtrend? Is it going to be a false breakout and we just ride it down the line? Or are we just going to find it as resistance and push down? Are we going to come down to our low of that $17,000 area? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and take it easy.